Support for This Is an Experiment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. That is 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls.
The experience is the experiment.
You ready? Give
ready.
that thing a I just use it for promo at this point. Oh, yeah.
I'm Baby Jake, and this is an experiment.
Normally that's at the end, but we'll do it now too. Today's guest has been here before. He'll be here many more times. He's the rock star you all love. He's one of my favorite people on this planet. Please welcome my boy, Baby Jake.
Thank
How are
you
you,
so
brother?
much for having me.
Thank you for coming on again.
I'm excited to be here. To be honest, you're right. I'll be here plenty more times.
Appreciate that.
Sorry I didn't come yesterday.
It happens.
You are kind enough to reschedule. You even took your day off for me. That was very
It
sweet.
happens. It happens.
I'm happy to be here, people. Hello, people of the internet.
Welcome, welcome. So, what has happened since the last time I saw you, outside of taking over the world and becoming the king of rock and roll?
We went on tour.
Yeah, baby.
You were there
It's fucking
for the last
phenomenal.
show, sold out show at the Echo.
Congrats on that, dude. It was so good.
Thank
it was
you.
so good. Your energy was so consistently high,
Thanks.
and the fucking dancing. I gotta say, I don't know. I wish it didn't come that way, but the broken finger, a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Seeing you be able to dance like that, and not have a guitar,
Yeah.
dude, it was amazing.
Yeah. I kind of had to develop my frontman skills more so because of, I broke my finger. For anybody who doesn't know, I broke my finger one day before tour.
How?
I was playing basketball. It wasn't anything exciting. And I had to get surgery the next morning on it. So luckily, my doctor, Sam Crosby, shout out Sam Crosby at Elite Orthopedics.
Shout out.
Shout out Sam. He was a fan.
Oh,
And
shit.
so I wasn't supposed to get surgery. I was going to miss the Mercury Lounge show in New York, which was sold out over capacity.
Yeah.
I was going to miss the Philly show at Kung Fu Necktie, which was sold out over capacity. And I was going to have to reschedule my Washington date, which had to happen either way.
That's crazy.
And this guy basically, because, he knew my music and he knew how much I was in a rush, and I told him I was on tour, blah, blah, blah. He got me in at 6 a.m. and performed surgery on the finger. And, then we, made it all the way to the end, which was, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, I honestly have a lot more to go. When we played Lala.
It looked
That's
fucking,
another new thing
it
that
looked
happened
crazy.
on
You
tour.
played 2 shows there too.
2 shows, yeah. One at Bud Light Seltzer Sessions and one on the BMI stage. BMI stage was a bigger show, about 5,000 people, which is crazy, amazing, best experience of my life. I learned, actually, the second day when we played the Bud Light Seltzer Sessions stage, I saw Mainskin, or however you pronounce their name. I think it's Monoskin or Mainskin, the Italian band that had that song. They covered the Beggin' song. Beggin',
they played?
Beggin' you. Yeah, they were on like T-Mobile stage. I think it was the main stage,
They're
or like
sick.
second biggest stage. And there was probably like 25,000 people out there. And man, let me tell you what, I really am not a huge fan of the music, but wow, could they perform.
Yeah.
Everybody was wireless. The guitar player was wireless. The bass player was wireless. The drummer was fucking, the drummer. But he was running down the gauntlet, right through the middle of the crowd, singing, letting fans sing. At one point, he's like, everybody get on your knees, and on 4, jump. He's running across stage, sweating. The guitar players were freaking going. The bass player, who's a girl, she had nipple covers. At one point, her nipple cover just comes off. She just left it. They tried to put it back on. It just fell off again. She just left it. Her tits are out. It was
Rockstar
just
shit.
like, honestly, I learned a lot from that performance. I learned a lot from that performance and from Heinz performance, which is those girls from Spain who are good friends of mine. They called somebody up on stage. I said, hey, that's a good idea. So I did it at my set. But I had to really learn how to be a front man, I think, and not just a singer who 6 songs I was going to play guitar on and then, figure out what to do. Like, I'm trying to learn more, man. I really have been trying to study on YouTube and on everywhere of like Mick Jagger and James Brown and all these people who are great, great Freddie Mercury, like all these people who are amazing frontmen, and try to just, steal some tricks and
Yeah.
manipulate them, make them your own.
What's cool is hearing that you are on these stages and these are peers of yours and you're still down to go home and fucking just learn. Like that's why you're on those stages.
Dude, I don't want to be off tour right now. I want to go. I told my agent, Griffin, who's been killing it for me.
He's been really killing
He's
it.
been killing it for
Nice
me.
guy too.
He's an amazing guy. I told him, I said, put me back on the road. I don't want to go home. I don't want to be home. I want to be on the road because I found a new I didn't think I was going to love it as much, is the honest truth. I didn't think I was, but I loved it. I was sober pretty much the entire tour because I had to be. I learned that I couldn't drink and then sing the next day. It toasted my voice.
Yeah.
I ended up eating a healthier diet on tour. It was almost better for me than when I was at home.
Yeah.
Which is very rare. It's usually not the case. And I just felt like so inspired, honestly, by the other people I was around. Like even my openers at some shows, I went, man, I got to learn some things from these guys. And they were opening for me.
Speaking of that, Lost Boy Crow.
Yeah.
Dude,
incredible.
they fucking killed it.
I want to bring him in fall to
Dude.
open for every show. We'll see if that happens, but I talked to him
He's
about it.
so sick. If you're watching this, please come on the podcast. We would love to have you.
I'll connect you guys.
I would love that.
Over text. Yeah, he's sweetheart, and also, I don't know if you knew this, but he's in like 3 bands.
What other bands?
I don't remember the names, but he's been doing this shit for a while.
And that was his first show back in a minute.
In like 2 years.
That's so crazy.
And they killed it.
Good for him.
And I told him, like, you need to stay focused on this shit, on your personal project, because it's just killing it for him. It's working out really well.
It was so good. And their energy, and then the energy was a very important part because it led into what you guys did, which I think if it was 0 to 100 too quick, it wouldn't like it was all these steps that brought into this moment that was so perfect.
Yeah.
And something that was really cool to see. And I was sitting there with Christian, I was sitting there with my girlfriend Elle, with his guitar player, just a bunch of us. And we were all saying how wild it was to see the energy from the rock music possibly be even bigger than Cigarettes and Patios. Dude.
Yeah, man. I love Cigarettes on Patios because everybody knows it.
Totally.
I mean, dude, Lollapalooza was 5,000. Chicago's my biggest city by like 15,000 monthly listeners.
Wow.
And I didn't expect 5,000 people to be singing it. I didn't even have to sing the lyrics. It was just point the mic and sing it. Cigarettes is great to play. I actually enjoy it much more as a record live than I do the recorded version because I'm sick of the recorded version.
We've heard it a million times.
Yeah, but I think the rock music, the general consensus that I've heard on things is that the rock music has been performing, at least to people, better than the other records that I had, like even like Confidant and Head in the Clouds and Cigarettes on Patio. Like people are enjoying the rock music better live.
Yeah.
That's not even out yet. I mean, Who Shot You Down? I'm singing it and I tell the crowd what to say and they're responding.
Yeah.
It's very rare for a crowd to respond on something they don't even know.
There's something though about music where there's the ability to fuck up and you see the talent happening in real time.
Yeah.
That people are starting to connect with in a way that hasn't been seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Cole from Beauty School Dropout, who you know of, right?
Great guy. Just saw him 2 days
at the
ago
beach, right?
Beach, yeah. He's a sweetheart.
Though they're some of the greatest dudes, and that's something they were talking about too. Is like that connection between people doing something that you can watch take a level of skill that is so practiced and so tough to achieve, and seeing that live and the ability to fuck up and just I don't know, it makes it more real. And dude, it was electric.
I'll tell you what, when we played San Fran the night before LA, literally the day before
with Mikey
Ferrari, who's also great.
Incredible.
Dave, we don't play with in-ears. We play off wedges.
Yeah.
Purposefully. Dave, my guitar player, who's been on here, broke a string on the solo of Comfort Me, which is one of our new records and the best solo in our set. First note, he breaks the string. We're on wedges. There's no track playing in the speakers. We had no option. I as the front man, really had no option but to completely pull some shit out of my ass.
Yeah.
And I did for 7 minutes. I think it took 6, 7 minutes. And granted, Dave could learn how to put a string on faster. He was a bit frazzled. You
It's
know,
fucking
you're in
scary.
front of like 100 people. I think it was only like 100 people at San Fran or something like that. Outside lands kind of screwed us, but um, I just improvised and I just started saying, the audience say this. Yeah, yeah, let's get down, let's get, and singing, and they would repeat it, and Danny took a bass solo, and the drummer, and at the end of the show, David's bummed, right? Granted, reasonably bummed because
It's tough.
it's
Yeah.
tough, and you know, Danny's like, oh, whatever. Danny actually wasn't too upset, but David was bummed. I was kind of like, man, I don't know if that went well because of that situation. Every person I sold merch to after, which was like probably 25, 30 people, they all said their favorite part was when we improvised.
There's something about the electricity that comes from real life fucking hell and watching people get out of it that is,
It's true.
you can't beat it.
They said that was rock and roll. They're like, that was
Fuck
our favorite. I was like, sorry about the technical issues. I always said that to everybody. We didn't expect, we can't plan for that to happen. It's not like I cut his string before the show and expected it to pop. And they said, no, that was our favorite part. That was so rock and roll. It was so real.
And everybody knows that, was it BB King changing the string while he's playing?
Yeah.
And like everybody knows those moments as like, that's rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's, if everything can only go perfectly, then how can you expect there to be any personality in it? How can you expect there to be any emotion into something that is that easy that it goes perfectly?
See, and I think that's why, things are changing a bit now. I'm not saying everybody's going to go play off of wedges like we do. In-ears are pretty common nowadays, even in rock and roll.
Absolutely.
But there is like something to be said about people using, I think people have started to use less and less in their in-ears and in their monitor mixes and more on the stage. And like the honest truth is we want our stage volume as loud as we can possibly have it because we want to feel it.
Yeah.
I want to be deaf. I want to feel it on stage so loud that we are working to hear the audience, like we need to focus to hear the audience because we're just jamming so hard on stage. I mean, in my opinion, you have to just immerse yourself in it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get great players, which I already have great players, but obviously like, some people are getting switched out in the band, get great players and just immerse in the music. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't want to come off a tour. I want to tour. If in 2023, I'd be happy if I could do 300 days.
God damn, dude.
I would be very happy. And that's me going out and making $2K a night. Lucky if I make $2K a night in some of these secondary cities. Because the honest truth is I've never toured before. This was my first tour run. And I'm probably only going to sell 150 tickets in, Oxford, Mississippi, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or whatever, Gainesville, Florida. I'm only going to sell 100, 150 tickets, probably. I don't know this for sure. I fucking hope they all sell out.
Yeah, and they'll start to get bigger.
Yes, but we'll see who raises their hand. But my point is, these guarantees are like $1,500 guarantees or a door deal.
Yeah.
Door deal, I'm walking away with like $1,000, guarantee 1,500, sometimes $2,000. I want to go out here and play 300 shows with those numbers.
Yeah.
Just because for me, this was the best experience of gaining fans. It was the most real experience of gaining fans. I couldn't believe how much content was produced just by people wanting to come. I never paid a single photographer. I never brought a photographer or videographer on board. There was just different people in different cities that said, hey, I want to do this. And I said, come by.
Yeah. I'm
just trying to hand out opportunities left and right to every city that we go to. I picked a different opener in every city that was preferably local.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was the most real experience from a fan and artist standpoint that I've ever had in my life. I didn't expect to bond with the fans like that.
One of the things that between our friend group, between Tristan and between David and obviously everybody else, but that specifically both of them have said is you're always a signal booster. You're the kind of person, if you believe in a signal, you're going to boost it, whether that's your own, whether that's somebody else's, whether that's bringing David on stage to play fucking Cheesecake and watch everybody go nuts. And just like, I don't know. I feel like that shit comes across, and that's why people are showing up at your shows to take pictures for free and stuff. They want to help boost the signal as well. And like you've got this fan base of people that are clearly following you on a journey where you went close to 180 degrees different from the pop stuff. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're still showing up. And
Yeah,
there's always
it's-
going to be some give and take with that shit, and then you start building up again. But like, if you're willing to play shows with 150 people, what's it going to be like when you're playing shows with 10,000 at every show, and you don't have to worry about that? Like, if you're giving the energy now, that only shows what's to come, and that's fucking so much of this. I mean, it's not like you're fucking 38 years old and you've been doing this for a second.
Yeah.
You're a young person who's fucking getting to see the whole entire world through the lens of the stage
Yeah.
and do it in the most honest way, using fucking wedges. Don't get me wrong, I love in-ears, and
Yeah, they're great.
there's a way to use them where it's not with backing tracks and stuff, but like you're really trying to get the most authentic experience as possible for yourself and for your band. And remember those $1,500 that's coming from that show, or 2,000, there's still a band to pay. There's still expenses.
Yeah. I mean, you got your manager. At the end of the day, just off of my commissions, I give 40% away.
Yeah.
Then I got to pay the band. Then I got to pay the gas.
Yeah.
Then I got to pay the hotels. Then I got to pay the food.
You're there because you fucking
I
love
tried
it.
to give him a $15 per diem per day.
Yeah.
Like a cheap ass. I ended up by the end of the tour, I said, these guys aren't going to be able to survive. I ended up, just buying them. If we go to a normal restaurant, even if we go to Chipotle, right? Let's say we go to Chipotle just twice a day. With 5 people, it's still going to be around $55, $50, something like that.
Yeah.
You're still looking, and that's the cheapest route. The honest truth is most of the time you're going to go into a restaurant, you're going to sit down, you want a break, you've been driving for 8 hours, we're going to order a meal, it's going to be $16 or $17 a person. You're going to tip 20% because you're a good person. And at the end of it, it's $75 for the meal. At the end of that shit, 5 people, $150. What is that? $30 per person, $35 per person per day. That's just for food.
Yeah. Let alone the fucking highest gas prices of all time.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, somebody, I can't remember who it was. I want to look it up if you don't mind real
No,
quick.
look away.
I got to look up who it was. I'm just going to look up who played the BMI stage.
I'm grabbing this while you look that up.
BMI stage Lala 2022 lineup. Sorry, let me look here. Man, I wish it would tell me. Sorry.
Was that your first time playing Lala?
It's my first time playing Lala. Let me make sure this is correct. Okay, J. Cole, Kygo. Where's Baby Jake? There's Baby Jake. Meet Me at the Altar. Have you heard of them?
No.
Look them up. They're a band who's been doing it for a while, and they're sick, and they have like a mini cult following. Kind of like, have you heard of Turnstile?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not the same thing, but they're building a cult following like that. And they said the best thing ever. They said BMI stage went and interviewed all of us who were okay with being interviewed, which was most of the artists wanted to be interviewed. And they said, the last question was, what's one piece of advice that you have for, upcoming artists or people that want to be in this or, want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And they said, whatever you do, don't rush it.
Mm.
Go out and play those 40, 50 cap venues. Go out and play those bars.
Yeah.
Where there's the drunk dude who's, Steve, drunk guy Steve, who goes there every day and all he does is drink.
Absolutely.
Go out and play those venues because those are experiences, those are moments that fans are never going to forget. You build a cult following by going out to places that you say, hell, I don't know what we're going to sell in Mississippi, but we're going to go and we're going to play. And if there's 50 people that show up, we're going to give the same show as we played at Lollapalooza to 5,000 people.
Yeah, that's why I love comedy so much, is because I think comedians are the greatest people to look at when it comes to getting your name in the industry and to getting really good at what you do.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is cut your teeth. You got to go play. Just because Rogan or fucking whoever it is, Chris Rock can sell out a 20,000 person place, doesn't mean they're not still going to the small little Flappers Club or wherever it is. And you got to cut your teeth. You got to fail at times so you can learn how to fix it next time. Like, I guarantee the next time David breaks a guitar string,
It'll be quicker.
it'll go quicker.
Yeah, and he won't be frazzled.
Exactly, and he'll be able to be easier on himself for it and realize it's a fucking guitar string and it's
Exactly.
gonna break whether you like it or not.
Exactly. It's you're driving fucking 10 hours a day, you know what I
Different
mean? It's
humidities and
exactly. You're going through different fucking sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's fucking sunny
yeah,
and 90% humidity, 100%. I agree with you.
you gotta cut your teeth, and the nice thing is, we got time.
Yeah.
There's time in this game. If you're worried about getting from point A to point fucking G
Yeah.
before you hit B,
Yeah.
you're gonna fuck up, and there's
It's
gonna
the
be a lot
truth.
bigger issues.
It's the truth. And you know, this stuff, a lot of artists go back, you know, I've talked to people that are a lot bigger than me about this, and they say my favorite rooms were the 250s. My
That's
favorite rooms were the 150s.
yeah.
Those are where you can interact with people. I mean, I'm out here fucking we're driving in a fucking pickup truck and
And
a
you're
trailer.
driving.
I'm driving the whole time. Or besides when I was sedated the first day because of surgery on this. I'm driving the whole time because I love it. And also I'm neurotic. I don't trust anybody else to be driving. I think I'm gonna crash every second. And I'm it's a pickup truck and a trailer. We're not even driving in a fucking bus.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose because I wanted not only me, but the band, I wanted everybody to feel like work ground zero.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people look at me and they look at the streams that I have and who I was with, the Scooter Braun and Republic and, you know, Pulse on the production side and I mean on the publishing side and you know how I came up and what was going on. And you look at my numbers and they're like, you know, my streaming numbers are
Phenomenal.
I should be, if you look at my streaming numbers and it correlated to social media and live music, if it did, which it doesn't, I would be selling 1,500, 2,000 tickets.
Yeah.
But, you know, people get that in their head and then they think it's going to be a certain way. And I'm trying to ground everything and say, no, look, I want to start at zero. And I am very humble and happy to start at zero.
And you know you're lucky too.
I'm lucky.
That's
I
the
felt
best
this
part.
whole tour, I felt blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, we fucking played Sunfest. We played a shitty ass set at Sunfest. Let's just say it like it is, boys, if you're listening to this. We played a shitty set. I forgot all the lyrics to Cigarettes on Patios. I was running off 2 hours of sleep off of a great show at Shaky Knees the day before. Second best show we've had. First was Lala. Second was Shaky. Third was probably Denver when we played Denver. To the next day playing one of our worst, probably our worst show at Sunfest and forgetting both verses to Cigarettes on Patios, which is my biggest song in front of 4,000, 5,000 people.
Yeah. Cut your teeth.
And the amount that I learned from that was just astronomical. You know,
Sure.
I learned that just because the reason that happened is because the audience wasn't too into it. And I learned, you know, you doing this for the 100 people or the 200 people or the 500 or the 1,000 or the fucking 20 people that are there to see you. There's people that drove.
Yep.
You got to take yourself out of it. Somebody told me, I forgot who it was, but somebody told me this. Last time I used the Linda Perry quote, the music was all about push and pull.
Yeah.
This time I used another quote by some random stranger. It wasn't a stranger. It was some artist friend of mine. I can't remember. They said, look, it's not my music anymore. Once you release it, it's the world's music.
Yeah.
I don't even get to choose whether I want to play Cigarettes on Patios. I have to play it because it might have changed somebody's life in the crowd. They might have drove 6 hours to come see this because their brother was dying of cancer and this was the song that got him through it. You know, and
100%.
it's even emotional right now to talk about it. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing what music and sound and what you can do as an artist for people. And that's how I felt on the road. I felt fucking blessed, bro. I felt blessed to stay at the Quality Inn in the middle of ghetto Salt Lake City, Utah. Borderline meth heads on the corner. Fucking, I felt blessed. I felt, one, like the man because I was doing it. And two, fucking blessed, bro. There wasn't a better feeling in my life than going out and doing that this tour.
Hearing this and also knowing you outside of your music, knowing you as a friend.
Yeah.
And hearing your
Good friend.
voice pre-tour and hearing you now, there's an energy that you have that you didn't have off tour.
Yeah.
That you didn't have pre-tour, I should say.
I didn't.
There's a, you look healthier. You feel like everything in your body is going the way it needs to now due to the environment you're putting yourself in and the love for what you do. And I don't know, there's something cool to see. There's nothing like seeing somebody that you give a shit about, especially a friend, find exactly what they need to be doing in life to help the most amount of people, including themselves. And that seems like what you're doing. a therapist shows up to therapy to help one person
Yeah.
and puts 100% of it in.
Yes.
You're showing up as long as there's that one person in that whole crowd.
Yep.
You're doing your job.
Exactly.
You're fucking doing your job and you're loving it and you're giving everything you have 100% of the time. You're allowed to have shitty shows.
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there who says they haven't had a shitty show,
They're a
they're
liar.
either lying or have never played a
I
fucking
mean,
show.
look at the Killers, man. The Killers were notoriously bad.
Yeah.
And then one guy found them and said, oh, "Wait a second. Listen to these records.
Yeah.
We can make these guys better." You know, I the truth is, I still have these feelings. I mean, I think if, again, just like you said, if anybody hasn't had a shitty show, they're a liar. Just like I'm about to say right now, if somebody says they've never thought about death or the afterlife or what happens when you die, you're a liar.
Yeah.
If you or you just don't have a brain because you think about it. And I was in a place, and I'm still in a place where I think about it sometimes, and I get the thought in my head probably once a month where I go, why am I doing it?
Mhm.
Why am I doing any of it? You know, whether it's a bad day or a good day or whether it's just a flip of a switch, I don't know. But before tour, I really felt like, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
I was borderline ready to quit, man. I was like, why am I doing this? Where is, like, what was the reasoning that I even got in this? I don't even remember. That's how much I've been in the scene and dealing with the business of it and, you know, focused on the singles and blah, 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 and, you know, all this shit. And when I went on tour, I just realized, like, man, I love this. Like, I love just performing music.
Yeah.
And hearing people sing it. It was honestly the best antidepressant I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And it just shocked me. It just, the first, even after because I never, like, it's different when you go, I'm sure, as you know, you've played before. It's different when you have like a one-off show, right? We went to Texas, we did 2 shows, we came back.
Yeah.
When you're in a groove for 2 weeks and you're going show, drive, hotel, drive, show, hotel, drive, show, hotel, drive, and you're driving across Nebraska and Iowa and fucking all these places, Utah, that you've never been to before, and you're doing this, it's something, you get in the groove of this phenomenal thing. And I don't know how to express it. I really don't. I don't know how to express it besides the best antidepressant I've ever had in my life.
There's something about being surrounded by your high
Yes.
at all times. And the second it starts to wear off, it starts up again.
Yeah.
And I do get that. And, you know, there's something like when I do 8 podcasts in a week,
Yeah.
that 8th one, I'm so fucking on. I'm so there. I understand that this high is going to be there and it hits me right away. And,
Yes.
and this is the only thing I've ever gotten that high off of outside of music.
Yeah.
And that's tough to say because that was the only thing that I've ever gotten that off before. But there's something about when you get in that groove and you know you're gonna walk into it with everything ready to go, with every engine fucking started, completely topped off and gas, like you've got it. There's something about it where you have this control of your happiness and your destitute and just all these. Oh, dude, it's the greatest fucking feeling. And I've played a lot of shows as a drummer. I played pretty big shows as a DJ, but I've never got to stand in front of the stage holding an instrument or holding a microphone and know that that's the way you can control it. And obviously I get that here.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that is similar, but there's got to be something to that when you get on that stage and you hear the people going nuts before and you go and get on and everything in your body just slows down and you get to walk out there and do what you're supposed. Oh man.
Yeah. It's like,
Gives me fucking
I
goosebumps.
used to, so like I got a good freaking story for this right now.
Please.
I did the high school, my senior year, I did the high school talent show. And I wrote this, I played Just Hold On, We're Going Home, but I wrote freestyle raps on the verses,
Fuck yeah.
right? Not freestyle, but I wrote the raps. So I get up on stage, I sing Just Hold On, We're Going Home, probably flat because I'm nervous, dude. I'm fucking shaking nervous. I'm so nervous. Get up with acoustic guitar. It's my whole school, probably like some girls in class, whatever. And I'm playing the song and I'm fucking nervous. And I sing the hook and like I knew I was decent, not good, but I was an okay singer at the time. And I get to the verses and I blank. And I just freestyled. You know, I just like went for it. And from coming from that kid at 17 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, whatever it was, to now at 25 years old, I go on the stage. I'm not even nervous. I never thought in my life that I would ever get away from stage fright.
Yeah.
I always thought I'd have it. I always thought it would be a thing. I don't even go up nervous anymore. I go up excited. I go up. Of course, are you going to have a feeling in your stomach? I'm about to perform in front of 250 or 5,000 or whatever people.
Yeah.
Of course, but I don't get nervous. I get up on the mic and say, "How you doing? How are you doing, Denver? How you doing, Los Angeles? Tell me about your day." Cause I'm here and I'm doing this shit as grassroots as you can. I'm driving the fucking truck and a trailer,
Yeah.
5-passenger truck and a trailer. I'm selling merch before the shows myself out of a box. I'm selling merch after the shows myself out of a box. I'm taking pictures with every fucking person that comes through. And I'll tell you what, like you just said, it's a different feeling. Your body slows down. It's almost like I'm the most calm I've ever been when I'm on stage
Yeah.
because I'm free. I'm not thinking about what the number is and how much I spent on gas to get there and all this shit. All I'm thinking, it's similar. I surfed in LA the last year that I was here.
Yeah.
Similar to surfing. Snowboarding's different, right? And I've snowboarded my whole life. I've skied and snowboarded my whole life. Snowboarding, you're moving, not the ground. Surfing, the ground's moving and you happen to be on top of it.
Yeah.
So you can't think about anything else unless it's very, very calm. Usually you can't think of anything else besides, oh, the waves are coming, I gotta focus.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, oh, what do I gotta pay for rent or this or that, or what's my problem, or my girlfriend's mad at me or whatever, you know. It's the same feeling on stage. I get on stage and I'm free. I feel free. I feel free, and not only do I feel free with 300 people.
Yeah. And you're helping them.
They feel free.
I used to work at Apple, which I fucking hated more than anything in the world. But the lessons I got out of that and being surrounded by people that are incredible but living the mundane, if
Yes.
that makes sense, and watching them save up their money to go to a concert, and like people that are far smaller than you that they're going to see, and I see them for months saving that money and holding on to it and getting ready for 5 hours before and
Yeah.
pre-game. Like, this is what you're giving people is something that they will tell their kids about. And
Yes.
like the thing, like when I was watching you on stage, it was wild because I grew up watching all my favorite rock stars, all my favorite pop stars, all my favorite Motown stars, all these people on stage on videos or going to concerts. And like, you look at them, you're like, this is history being made. I'm watching those videos now, 15 years later, these people looking at them like, wow, that moment happened.
Yeah.
You're doing that in real fucking time, which is so crazy. And like, I don't know, the fact that we both have these mediums that we can do something that will stick with people for a lot longer than we're around.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to love it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a responsibility to just do it. We have a responsibility to put everything that's left in us on that stage or into the microphone or whatever that situation is. You're signing up for something that isn't going to be all easy all the time, but the solace you can bring to people's lives and the moments you can bring. My little brother came when you were in New York.
Yeah.
And he came to see
I met
you.
him.
Yeah, dude,
He's jacked.
dude, he's a fucking stud. And my little brother's 5 times bigger. But the night that he had coming to see you,
Yeah.
and just like you guys inviting him into the green room, and like he got to feel like a fucking rock star for a night
Yeah.
off of something that was probably very mundane for you guys. Just like having somebody pop in for a second wasn't a big deal, but like for him, he goes to work the next day, which he lives an amazing, crazy, beautiful life, but like that's something different. He got to come in and be with people that
Yeah.
like the next time he hears your voice, it's probably on the way to work the next morning. Like he listens to your music as a fucking fan. And the fact that he got to come just sit and realize you guys are real regular human beings who are just working your ass off.
Yeah.
Like the high that people get off of what you do.
Totally.
And the life that you allow people to live, and the second that they get to step away from it because they're being taken over by you for a second, you're now controlling their moment.
Yeah. It really is that. It's a controlling of a moment.
Yeah.
And that's also why we have a moral responsibility as artists, as a podcaster, as an artist, as a painter, as anything that's going to reflect upon society. We have a moral obligation to be aware of what we're putting out, of what we're doing, you know, and this is kind of a separate subject, but I used to love rap music, trap music.
Mm-hmm.
I realized at a certain point in time that what I was listening to was actually polluting my mind, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. And that's really what shifted me even out of pop and rap was the moral obligation. Just like when you're on a stage, you control a moment of when you release music, when you say things on social media, when you do these things. There's kids that are listening to this shit.
Yeah.
And not only kids, let's be honest, the whole kids adult thing, this is all, I used to be a kid and I was like, one day I'll be an adult.
There's a lot of adults that don't know shit.
You never leave kid.
Yeah.
You're just a fucking grown kid.
You just learn
That's
a little
it.
bit more.
You learn a
hopefully.
little bit. Yeah. Hopefully you learn a little bit more and you just grow up.
Yeah.
You grow up. There is no kid and adult. You just go from young to older.
Yeah.
That's it. You're the same person. And I realized that as I got older and I said, oh man, this makes sense. Why a lot of people are the way they are. Why I'm the way I am. And so at a certain point, I just realized that it was my moral obligation as an artist to make sure that I was not only doing the best I could be doing and giving those people those special moments, but also being aware of what I was doing.
Yep.
Intention. Yeah. It's just like, it has to be intentional because people forget you're not putting this art out for yourself. If you were, you'd be in your bedroom and it wouldn't go anywhere. It'd be on a CD that you listen to yourself.
Which is a whole different, which is
different.
Great. But you no longer have that moral obligation if you're in that point.
Exactly. But if I want to do this as a career, if I want to be on stage, if I want to go and, play the Hollywood Bowl eventually, I feel, especially just as myself as an artist, I can't speak for all artists, but as myself, I feel like my music, which finally has started to take a turn in that direction, needs to just be improved in what it's saying to people and what it's giving people, because you got to be careful. This is a world that's ruled off of social media and hearsay.
Yep.
It's no longer like you get the one news channel that tells you what the fuck's going on. It's like everybody has a biased opinion and it really matters what opinion these kids are listening to.
Yeah.
And that includes music.
It includes music and it includes your demeanor and how you show yourself as a human.
100%.
Like some people, they get ready for something just to show people that they are something bigger than what they really are. Which to me just seems like a really tough job to have to get into character every time you want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Or every time you want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it seems like all your music does right now, the moment the music that you have out shows your progression. If I would rather see that you switched 180% or 180 degrees than to stick with what you were doing just because it was working.
Yeah.
There's something about...
It's true, man.
And like the fact you knew I guarantee with every bone in my body that you knew there was going to be followers who left.
Yeah.
There was going to be people who wanted the old baby Jake, who wanted cigarettes and patios. Yeah. And that's fine. And that's fine. That is still there for them.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people forget is go turn on fucking Spotify. That is still there for you. Yeah. He's still able to tell that story, but he's also showing you that he progressed as a human being, and he'd like to show you that part too and give him the chance for that. And like, totally. I don't know. I commend you for the fact that you took that jump, that you were willing, because if you were playing just the shows that you used to and just the music, maybe it'll be easier to sell more tickets.
Yeah.
But would you be playing to the people that need to hear you the most? Maybe not. Or the people that need to hear the story that you're willing to tell? Probably not.
Yeah.
And you made a leap where you knew it would be tougher to get out of this hole, but once you got out, there's going to be a palace waiting for you versus a home.
That's how I feel. And I feel, like the Who Shot You Down record that we were talking about earlier. People think it's a fun song. The song's about a shooting that happens on a festival ground.
Yeah.
I respect people that talk about real things that are going on. I wrote that song when all the shootings were happening years ago. Pumped Up Kicks, Foster the People. Yeah. That was the inspiration. When I heard that and I actually paid attention to it, which I never did. I always just listened to the song because I thought it was great, When I started paying attention to these things, I realized how much is really being said and what needs to be talked about and what doesn't. Bob Dylan was out here sending messages that the normal people weren't understanding. Yeah. He was sending messages way further, much more power behind them that people could even understand on a political front, on a moral front, on just in general. And I think, I respect people like that, man, because it's very hard to put yourself out there and say, no, I understand. I'm supposed to be this person who's untouchable, but that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm very touchable.
Yeah.
You know, I'm within reach of anybody who needs it.
Mhm.
You know, and I obviously there comes a point in time if you're selling 2,000 tickets, I'm probably not going to be the guy selling merch. I would love to be, but it's just the honest truth is it would take me 8 hours.
Abs-
I'd be sitting there for 6 hours before I left the venue. So there's a time and place when things get a little bit out of reach,
yeah.
but that's natural progression. And that doesn't mean a person is out of reach.
Yeah.
You know, you can choose to be close or not.
And you upgrade your circumstances as you go because of the knowledge that you gain from doing them yourself.
Yes.
So, like, you not selling merch one day is because you already sold all the merch yourself for so long that you built. Now you know how to do it correctly. You teach somebody else to do it. Now you have the funds and the capabilities to help somebody else feed their family doing that. And you keep going and going. Hopefully, one day I don't have to fucking sit here and make sure my cameras are going at all times.
Yeah.
Hopefully, one day I don't have to make sure the audio isn't peaking while I'm trying to have a real conversation with somebody and all this shit. But I would rather be doing this now
Mhm.
than not know how to do it later and not know how to do it correctly, not know how to put the right person behind it and the right intention. And one day, hopefully, I'm not editing all my own fucking videos.
Yeah.
But right now, watching myself for hours and hours and hours a week talk and fucking cringe over it is making me a better person to talk to my family, to my girlfriend, to my friends. In like, every bit of hard work that goes into building your palace, your kingdom, the dream, every bit of hard work is there for a reason. They're all a little wedge that helps move the plank up just a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
agree.
more. And that's what you're doing.
Even
You're
the
fucking
falls. Even the falls.
the falls are the most necessary.
Yeah.
And that's not true. How you react to the falls
Yes.
are the most necessary. If you're willing to fucking pull a David and figure it the fuck out and put that stream back on, and yes, you're gonna be hard on yourself. That's human. Especially
It's
when
normal. First time, of course.
and then I guarantee he's going to do better next time
Yeah.
and better and better and maybe now when he goes on stage as an artist as himself and he gets to headline his own tour, now he's going to have a different perspective and
Totally.
like at the end of this whole conversation, the biggest part of this is like you fucking love what you do
Yeah.
and you're willing to do everything you can to make sure that you can help as many people on the way. And as somebody who's gets to be close to you at this proximity and talk to you as a friend, you've done that for me on a level that I can't repay anybody for. And Danny and David have done that for me and introduced me to people. And like the community that you build as you grow your kingdom is going to be the decision on if it lasts forever or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just as simple as we're all human beings and nobody
Yeah.
should be, there should be healthy competition,
Absolutely.
but there shouldn't be this weight on people's shoulders to beat somebody out or do something. I don't feel that way. I never have felt that way. I always just wanted myself to be the best, you know?
Competition with yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's important to keep in mind. I think there's a lot of people, Danny brought it up to me the other day. I know we're running low on time, but
No, let's keep going. I don't care.
Danny brought it up to me the other day. We were having this discussion about this certain situation, and he said, "Look, Jake, you got to remember, some people get into this for the money or the fame." And it shocked me. It was like a bat hit me in the head because I never thought about it that way. Myself, I always did this because I was like, I love music.
Yeah.
And I want to record music. I just wanted to record it. I didn't even know if I wanted to be an artist. I didn't even know if I wanted to tour. I just wanted to make music and put it out in the world.
Yeah.
Because I liked making music, because it made me happy. And when Danny said that, it clicked in my head. I was like, man, he's right. There's certain people out here that don't even do this because they love music.
Yeah.
They're doing it because it was the next step for them as an actor, or it was the next step for them in their social media career, or, they wanted to be famous, or they wanted to buy all this stuff, or they wanted to be, get all the girls or whatever. And for me, it was never about that. And I think, it shows. You meet people and you know what's what. Within, especially like, you've been out here a while, I've been out here a while, in Los Angeles especially, you can walk into a fucking room and you can point the people out within the first two sentences they say, oh, this guy's a good guy.
Yeah.
And this guy's not.
The reason I think I love LA is it took me 6 years to find the people that I want to stand up at my wedding, that I want to hold my kids when they're born, that I want to fucking grow old with as family and friends. I found those people through not finding them for years. I found them
100%.
through getting back up every single time.
Yeah.
All you need is that one right person.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I found Mickey. And guess what? Through Mickey, I went to go do Mickey's podcast. I met him online. He happened to buy a rug for my cousin 2 days earlier, just randomly, and hit him up. Like life just brought us there. Met some fucking scruffy ass dude for 25 minutes while I was at his house. Got a call the next day from that scruffy ass dude saying, "You want to go to a birthday party?" I show up at the birthday party, and now a year and a half later, some of my closest friends in the world are from that birthday party.
Yeah.
You, fucking David, Tristan, Schumach, Tyler, so many people that I love with every bone in my body, but I would never have found that if I didn't fucking get up those 5 other times that I felt lonely.
Yeah, man, you're gonna get knocked down like over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy because some people they're not even willing to take the first leap. I
Yeah.
have a friend from my hometown in Fort Myers that is just he's I asked him, I said, why? He said, I'm getting bored here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, why don't you leave? It's scary, bro. And I couldn't believe that because for me, all I wanted to do was leave.
Me too.
I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here because, at the time, not only with my family, but with other things, there were things going on. And I felt like I didn't have any support where I was. So I needed to find the support,
Yeah.
and for him to be like, oh, it was scary. Wasn't it scary for you? And for me to be like, no, it made me recall that like, other people are not so easy to make that first jump
Yeah.
and go for it.
Most people can't.
Yeah, most people can't because they're scared of falling. And what I've learned by getting knocked down, I mean, like what I said earlier, all the shit that I'm going through right now on the business side for the past year, it's like some days I just want to quit.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I was given it or who gave it to me or what happened in my life for me to be this way. But that's just not what I do. That's not what I do. I get knocked down and immediately I want to stand up.
Yeah.
It's just natural to me. And I don't know what that is. I don't even know what you call that. I don't know if you call it drive. I don't know if you call it competitive edge. I don't know what you call it. But for me, it's like, I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't doing this.
It's kind of like what we were talking about before we started this with the politics. Some people are either willing to speak. You either have to be willing to speak up all the time,
Yeah.
or get up all the time every time you fall, or you sit down and you make sure you don't fall.
Yes.
If some people,
Which is a lot.
absolutely, and some people that's the best life that they can give themselves at that moment, and I can't blame them for that. That ain't me.
Yeah.
I'm either going to be the loudest person in the room, or I'm not going to be in that fucking room.
Yeah.
Because I believe in what I believe in. You clearly do too, and I'm willing to fight for it. Mine happens to be this podcast, my music, and my friends. And yours is your fucking music and your friends. And the same people you're bringing on tour with you, and whether they're on tour with you forever or not doesn't matter. They were on tour with you. You
Yeah.
gave them that opportunity. They gave you the opportunity for them to be there. It's this mutual thing, and you keep fucking going. And whether it's a broken string or a broken finger or a fucking shitty show, you get your shit together. You fucking put your string back on. You get on stage and you play amazing for the next show.
Yeah.
That's all you can fucking do.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You become, I didn't realize I was always like, why are doctors hanging out with doctors, and all this shit. And then when I grew up, I kind of realized like, oh, wait a second. My best friends are the people that I make the magic with.
Yeah. Man,
Danny, David, you, all these people, this is the people I respect.
absolutely.
I'd rather come and do this than go and hang out at any bar or club or whatever. I wanted to make sure that we did this before I left because I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking great guy.
Thank you.
And like, I want you to win. I want Danny to win. I want David to win. I want all these people to win because I don't know what the point in life is if you're not trying to help other people. And I really didn't understand that as a young adult and as a kid. I didn't understand it. I was looking out for myself and, not in a negative way where I would push people down,
Totally.
but I only ever cared about myself. And I'm starting to realize that when I ask these questions about life, about what's the purpose, well, what happens when we die? Like the only common ground that I can find, and this is, I'm not a very religious person, only common ground that I can find is that the universe wants human beings, and you can see it in animals too, in regular animals, to support one another.
Yep.
And there's always going to be competition.
Yeah. Which is
I
part
mean,
of the
go
support.
look at cheetahs chasing fucking gazelles.
Yep.
There's competition,
Yeah.
you know, and things will happen. But I think naturally we're meant to help each other. We're not meant to go against each other.
Yeah.
We're not meant to have this greed over this piece of linen / paper that's in our hands, this gold chain, this whatever, you know. It's not, those are all made up. Even the concept of love, to an extent, like when I'm talking about a relationship love, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love my partner. You know, even that is a made up thing by humans.
Yeah.
We have innate love for other humans, right? But the concept of love and the concept of this money and things like this, these are all things that humans implanted in our own brains. We're made to reproduce, and we're made to look after one another. You know, that's truthfully what I believe. I think that that's the same with everybody everywhere else in the animal kingdom.
I think the important thing is you surround yourself with people that are going to push you to do the thing that you're meant to do
Yeah.
and that you're best at. I probably wouldn't have started making music again if it wasn't for being around your music, you, David, Danny, all these people. And also, there's something about having people to send what you do, to get critiques and to get whatever. Like, I know now that if I send my music to you and I send it to Danny and I send it to David, I'm going to get real feedback. I'm not
Yeah.
going to get, this is great, good job. I'm
Yep.
going to get, yo, do this, do this, do this. And I promise the song will be better.
Yeah.
And I trust that because I know you guys are looking out for me. And I've seen that in real time with my music and how much better I've gotten because I have people in my life to strive to be as good as and to get help from and to ask questions. And I don't know. I think what you're doing is not only so beautiful, but so important. And as a friend, as a fucking huge fan of what you are and who you are as a person and what you make, dude, you're fucking doing something that a lot of people need. And a lot of people need somebody up top, somebody to look up to that wants it and loves it and is giving everything they have towards it. And for all the people out there, thank you for that. Thank you for giving us another person in this world to look up to, another song to dance to,
Yeah.
and a fucking another show to go to make the money that we're saving up to go to this worth it. And you know, I appreciate you coming on here and being more than all this, being just such a fucking good friend to me too.
Yeah.
It means everything to me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I feel the same exact way about you. I think we have to be role models,
Absolutely.
both of us, in what
Yeah.
we do, you know?
I'm trying. I think that's why I like this podcast is I don't have room to be fake.
Yeah.
I'm talking for 8-9 hours a
Yeah.
week. If I try to hold some fucking face up, it's gonna be really hard to hold my hand up trying to hold that
Yeah,
thing over my
especially
face
with
every
8
time.
episodes a week, huh?
Dude, it's been ridiculous. And also with going and working 40 something hours a week at a job and editing and trying to still be a creative, it's if you're living in a facade, it'll eventually crumble you and you'll fall.
Yeah.
If you're living as yourself, you have no fucking lies to go back on. You have no stories to try to
It's
remember.
true.
And you'll eventually, those 100-person shows will be 5,000, 10,000 because they're going to see the real person up there.
Yeah, it's true, man.
You're fucking killing it, dude. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'm really excited to see all of the people's lives you change over the next couple of years.
Sweet.
It's all
I
going.
don't know what to say, but thank you.
Always, always, always. Everybody, this is the one and only Baby Jake. He's got new music coming out. He's got new tours coming, and a lot of big things in the works.
This is an experiment. I'm Baby Jake.
And that's how we're fucking ending it. Bye, everybody. Love you, brother. Thank you.
The experience is the experiment.